Okay, so let's tackle our task 5 this week. So for this week, we're going to be doing an interior design and floor plan for our restaurant. So we'll start by looking at our presentation. So our primary objective this week is to focus on the inside or the interior of our restaurant plan. We're thinking about the color schemes that we've chosen up to this point. We want to make sure it's consistent. We want to make sure we have a good flow, which means that people are able to easily walk around your restaurant and get through areas, get to the bathroom if they need to. That, like servers, if you have them, are able to walk around the restaurant. So the flow or the way that people move in the restaurant is really important. Your design should be welcoming, right? So make sure that it, again, works with what you already have planned as far as your ideas for your restaurant. And you want to think about including maybe some plants or something that kind of cheers up the place so it's not, too industrial feeling. Um, your interior design should be consistent with the exterior of your restaurant. So if you had certain color choices on the outside of your restaurant for task 2, you may want to think about how can you bring in some of those colors into the interior as well. So there's some cohesion or some consistency between the outside and the inside. You have some research links that you can go to check out to give you some best ideas. We're going to look at our restaurant floor plan, and specifically that is like a layout of where do you want your tables, where do you want booths, where do you want your kitchen area, where are your restrooms, where's your hostess going to stand, or where are people going to pay if it's a more casual place that doesn't have servers. Even if you wanted to have a bar or something more like that, you would add it in. And we want to think about how that's laid out. Usually, when you view the interior floor plan, you see it from the top, right? So we're going to look down at the different shapes and kind of figure out, okay, well, a rectangle is going to stand for a table, a circle will stand for a chair, etc. These are the requirements for your floor plan. So you need to have a kitchen, a dining area, a payment station. So either a hostess is there and you bring up your check to pay, or a place where the server would take the bill to pay it. So someplace where they have like a computer or a payment station. An entrance to your restaurant. This could be where people are sitting, waiting before they get to their table, or maybe it's just like a little area up in the front where there's like people can stand if they need to line up. And you need to obviously have restrooms somewhere. It could just be a single restroom that, is for both genders, or it could be individualized. So it's up to you how you want to do that. And you have an option to include an outdoor space. So if you want a cafe that has a garden area behind it, you could add that in. All right. So I broke down some of the different parts of the required um, aspects of your interior design. So the kitchen, there's a couple different layouts that you could use. So assembly line where things are lined up, island layout where there's some tables in the middle, or zone layout where you have specific areas for different tasks. So, and I'll show you how you can bring in different components for your kitchen. You have a dining area, and ultimately you need to understand that it should be 60% of your entire restaurant. So when you look from up above, at least 60% of your restaurant should be places where the customers can eat. Okay? Again, you can have an entrance or waiting area, and the payment station can be part of that entrance area. Restrooms, we just talked about. Leave a clear path to the restroom. One of the things that you need to consider is that there are people who are not always as abled as others. So some people are in wheelchairs. You need to have enough space for everybody, no matter what their situation is, they can access the restrooms and come into your restaurant. Okay. So again, looking at your overall design floor plan, make sure that you show where your doors and windows are going to be, or where you think that they would be. Where your kitchen is, your dining area is, your payment station, the entrance and waiting area, the restrooms, and then the optional outdoor space. So here are some examples. I just put a ton of images in to kind of show you how things could be laid out. So if we look at this one, these are all tables, right? There's round tables with chairs, rectangular tables. There's a large table in the middle. We've got a bar area. This is clearly a kitchen because I can see the kitchen appliances in here and a sink here. Over here, I can see these are restrooms, right? You can write the word restroom, but one of the things I want you to notice is that these areas are defined by walls, and the walls are just a line. So you have to really show where you have a separation of space, right? You can see this is a door that goes into this area. So this area is an outdoor space. It looks like it's still covered because there's windows and then there's doors right here, but it's separate from the main part of the building. Let's look at another one. Here you see the kitchen. Now they didn't put their appliances in here. They didn't put their grills or stove or anything, but you could be able to do that. This one has more of an outdoor cafe feel, right? So it feels like these are mostly outdoor. They have outside tables. They have a long kind of curved table with the chairs right next to it. Then they brought in all kinds of plants, different colored plants they could add to it. And then WC is another way to say restroom. It's water closet. So you could write WC or restrooms. So here we see this one is a sushi bar. So we have a line here that's a long table with a row of chairs. This is their entrance area with their lobby. They have a specialty area, so like people could reserve special rooms. And then they have the main dining area. Over here, WC, that stands for the restroom. So there's a restroom over here. Kitchen is behind the sushi bar. And then they have a storage area. So again, we have a kitchen, we have a restroom, and then we have the dining area. This one has buffet individual tables laid out here so that the people can come and get their own food. So this restaurant is a buffet style restaurant. So we can see this one is a brewery here, and we have a restroom, we have the dining room, we have a long bar here, we have some staircases, and then a walk-in fridge, the kitchen. So it's really dependent upon the type of restaurant you want to create. I think it's easiest to start with just a basic rectangle, and I'll kind of walk you through those steps, but you're welcome to look at the different layouts as examples to kind of give you an idea of what you'd like to do for yours. Okay. And again, here's one that has a patio space. They marked it as patio, and they included some trees. And then again, that's looking from the top down. So it doesn't look like a tree like we would see it from the side. They just have the greenery suggesting where the tree would be. Okay. So let's go to Photopea. And why don't we start with our requirements? So for this one, our size needs to be 17 inches by 11 inches. So this is going to be, I'll just call it my floor plan. Change px to in, which is inches. We want to change it from pixels to inches. The width is 17 and the height is 11. And then I'm going to hit create. All right, so the first thing I want to do is frame like the outside or exterior walls of my building. I'm going to start with something simple, like a rectangle. So I'm going to come over to my shape maker right here, and I'm going to choose a rectangle. And I want to fill up this area as much as possible, so I'm going to get pretty large. Now, I don't want this to be filled in with red, right? I want to see the walls, so I need to have a bold outline around it, but I need something else happening in the middle. So let's see what else we can do. So they have different colors, and we've changed our colors with making shapes before, but if you look up on top, they actually have some patterns up here too. So instead of bringing in a pattern from the internet, I'm going to see what other kind of patterns they have and see if I can just find a nice neutral one that could be like a carpet. All right. So I'm going to go with this one. And then right here where it says stroke, see how that has a big X through it? That means that there's no stroke or outline around my box. I want there to be an outline, so I'm going to choose a color one, but I'm going to make it black. Okay, so, and I'm going to make it a little bit thicker I'm gonna do like 6 point, just so we can really see it. Okay, so now I have my basic shape. Now, how am I gonna bring in my tables and my booths and like how do I wanna lay out my kitchen? All right, so I'm thinking before I get started that I want my door to be over here to enter my restaurant. And maybe I have some windows up front. I want this to be my main dining area. I think I want my kitchen back here and maybe my bathrooms next to my kitchen. So the first thing I want to do is draw some lines to kind of divide up my space. So I'm going to come down to my shape tool and I'm going to draw a line. So I'm clicking on line. And I think I want my kitchen to be back here. So I'm going to come in here with just like a dividing line. And make it about so. I'm going to draw another line here. Now, if you're having a hard time keeping your lines straight, if you hold down Shift, it'll lock it like every so many degrees. So it'll hold it in place for you. All right, so that's where I want my kitchen to be. And then I think I'm going to do my restrooms like back here to the side. So I'm going to have a line here, comes to about here. And then I'm going to do a line that comes over. And this is where I want my restrooms to be. So just going to divide them up. I'm going to move this line over just a little bit. It looks like it's not quite in the middle. All right, that works for me. So kitchen area, restroom, and then this is my main dining room, and this is kind of where I want my doors to be. Now, how do I bring in these other things? Okay, so if you go back to the assignment, you'll notice there's some floor plan elements that you can open up, all right? In order to use these and bring these images into Photopea, you need to click on it first and open it, right? So you'll see it like this. When it comes open, you want to come over to the 3 dots where it says More Actions, open in a new window. And when you open it in a new window, then you can download it. See right here it says download? And then you're going to download it onto your computer because what we're going to do is bring this in from your computer, okay? So I would go back through and do that for all of the images. So I'm going to choose floor plan 2, come up here, open in a new window. Then the download button will appear right here and I will download it. And I'm going to go back. And I'm going to go to my floor plan element 3, which are my kitchen appliances. Hit the 3 dots, open it in a new window. Then I'm going to download it. And I'm going to do my last one. And these are my doors and windows. Hit the 3 dots, open it in a new window, and then download this last one. So now I have all of them saved to my computer, right? They're all downloaded. I'm going to go back to my restaurant that I started. And I think the first thing I need to do to really lay out what's happening here is I need to bring in some doors and windows. So I'm going to come up to File and Open, dot open in place, open. And I'm going to find those files that I just downloaded, right? So I'm going to look at my computer, look for my quick access, or even it depends on your computer where you're at, where you saved it or where your downloads are, okay? So I'm going to look for my doors and windows and open it. Now see what happened? It opened in its own little window. So this is my project that I'm still working on. This is my reference images that I can pick from to bring over to my project, okay? So I want to have a door, maybe I want like a double door like this when you first come into my restaurant. So I want to choose this one to bring over into my project. The way to choose any of these elements is just go on your rectangular select. So rectangle select right here. Select the one you want, so put a box around it. like so. You're gonna go up to Edit, Copy, click on your project and go to Edit and Paste. And then it comes over here. Now I don't need that all of the white on there, so I'm gonna use my magic wand tool to select the white areas and then just hit delete. Go up to select and deselect. And now I have my door and I can move my door wherever I want. I think I want my door to be a little bit bigger than that. So I'm gonna do edit, free transform, and I'm gonna make it just a little bit larger. Not too much larger, but just a little bit. All right, so I've got doors here. I'm gonna need a door to my kitchen and a door to my restrooms. And maybe I have a door to go outside too, maybe through the kitchen. So I'm gonna need 3 more doors, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 more doors. And I need them to be simple ones, not complicated like this one. So I'm gonna come back over here, go to my doors, check and see which one I like the most. I think I'm just gonna do the basic one here. Go to my rectangle select, draw a rectangle around the one I wanna choose, edit, copy, come back over here to my floor plan, edit, paste. And again, I'm gonna get rid of that white, so I'm gonna use my magic wand tool. Click on the white, hold down shift, click on the white, and then hit delete or backspace. I'm then gonna go up to select and deselect. And I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger again. So I'm gonna go to transform, we'll do free transform, and I'm just gonna make it a little bit larger. All right, so I think the kitchen door needs to be probably over here. I'm gonna click on my move tool so I can move it over. So kitchen door, something like that. And then I need a door for each one of these bathrooms. Well, I don't want to have to bring it over multiple times. Why don't I just copy this layer? So my first layer here was my door to enter the restaurant. I'm gonna make sure that I keep track of that by labeling it. So I'm gonna say this is my front door. And then if I look at my other layer, this is gonna be my other door. So this is gonna be my door to my kitchen. So I will say kitchen door. And now I'm just gonna make some duplicate layers. So I'm gonna go in, duplicate layer, duplicate layer, duplicate layer. So I have 3 of them. Make sure I'm on my move tool and let's put them where I want them to go. So one here, one there, one here, right, for the bathrooms. And then I'm gonna take this other one and I'm gonna have it be a door to outside, but I think I'm gonna rotate it so it swings in. So I'm gonna go to edit and transform. And what would happen if I flipped it? There we go, that's what I wanna do. All right, so then I wanna keep track of these. So my door copy one is my kitchen door to the outside. Oops, hold on, let me double click that. It's door to the outside. Oh, it just does not wanna let me type. There we go. And then this one is my, I'll say restroom door 1. And this one, restroom door 2. That way I can kind of keep track of everything because it gets really like once I start duplicating layers, things get really hectic. All right, so I've got my doors in there. Let's go and see what kind of windows I want to bring in. So I'm just going to bring in a standard window and I'll probably copy it multiple times just like I did those doors. So I'm going to get my rectangle select, go around my window, and then I'm going to edit and copy, come back to my project, edit and paste. When it comes in, it's smaller. I think I want to make it a little bit bigger, but I also want to get rid of the white. So I'm going to use my magic wand tool, click on the white, hit delete, go up to select and deselect. And then let's make it just a little bit bigger. I really want to make it like longer. I want to have some bigger windows. All right, so I'm going to bring down my window. In my mind, I had a whole bunch of windows kind of along the front here. So I'm going to have my first window, so I'll call it window 1. And then I'm just going to do some duplicate layers. Just right-clicking, right-clicking, right-clicking. All right, so let me just kind of move these windows around. So I've got one here. I'll take it all the way down, I think. One next to it. So I just have to make sure that I'm on my move tool. I think I'll bring one over here. So I've got to rotate it. And then I'll bring another one over here and rotate that. So transform and rotate. And we'll put it over here. And then put one more, maybe back here. All right, now I don't like how these aren't organized up front, so I'm going to go through and adjust them. Window 1, just move that down a little bit. So I've got to keep track of which one is which. I really just want to move, yep, that one right there. Move this one over just to kind of center them a little bit more. All right, good enough for me. So I've got my windows and I've got my doors. All right, so I'm done with this one. I don't need any more. I can close it down. I can keep it open. Maybe I change my mind later. I'm going to open up the next one, though. I'm going to open, File, and Open. And I'm going to go to my floor plan elements number 1 and open. And you see what happened? It opened it in its own thing. That's what you want to do. You don't want to open it in this one because you're going to pick and choose what you want and then bring it over. Okay, so there's different type of booths, there's different type of benches, different tables. If you wanted a buffet, you can choose from this stuff over here, curved chairs, and you know you can easily change the colors of these too. It doesn't have to be this green and brown. So I'm really liking this rectangular table. So I'm going to come in with my rectangle select, come over to this table. I don't want the words, I just want to get the shape. So make sure you don't get the words by accident because then it's harder to get your white out of there. All right, so I have selected that. I want to edit, copy, come back to my project, edit, and paste. And I want to get rid of the white, so I'm going to use my magic wand and select it. And then I'm going to hit delete. And you'll notice what's happening. There's a little bit of like a frame around it still. It's good. I would leave it like that because it kind of helps you understand that you need to have that room around each table so that people can move around, right? So keep that little bit of a white frame around things, just kind of help you organizing. I'm going to go and resize this a little bit, retransform, make it just a little bit bigger. And I think I want to have some tables back here. So that can be my first one. I like the size of that. I'm going to bring it all the way to the top. And I'm going to call this one table 1. Just to kind of help me keep everything straight. And then I'm going to copy it. I'm going to copy it a whole bunch of times to bring it in. So I'm just going to do right click and duplicate layer. Make sure I'm on my move tool. And there's my second one. I think I want to space these out. Maybe I'll put something else in the corner there. So I'm going to have this one right here. I'm going to do duplicate layer. Bring some more there. And see how I'm kind of using that little bit of a white frame to help me keep things straight and leave a little bit of space around the tables. Now I want it to be like interesting. I don't want it to be too boring and like the same tables everywhere. So I'm going to bring in these tables here. Maybe I'll do a few more. Yeah, just because there's room. And then I'll bring in something different along the side here. I think I can put a few more over here too. I'm not going to rename all of these because I think that, the copy number is enough for me to kind of keep track of it. I think I want to have something special right there. And I don't want to have too much in front of my bathrooms because everybody has to be able to walk and get access to that. So I don't want to have anything like blocking that flow right there. So I'm not going to put any tables right in front of any of these doors, right? And I'm not going to put any tables right next to this door or this main area because this is my entrance and my waiting area here. So I don't want to have too much stuff over here either. So let's look and see what I could put along the side here. I think maybe something like a bench or a booth. Let me see what I have room for. I think I could do a corner bench like this. So I'm going to come over here, select my corner bench with my rectangle tool or my rectangle select. And I am going to make sure I don't get the words in it because I don't want to have to delete that later. Edit, copy, come back to my project, edit, and paste. I'm going to select the white and get rid of that. And then I'm going to do a little bit of resizing just to make it a little bit larger. Oh, that didn't really resize well. Let me deselect real quick and then do edit, free transform. Yeah, I think it was on a selection. There we go. So make it just a little bit bigger. And I think that will fit back here. So I'm going to go on my move tool, bring it over, and let's see if I can rotate this. So transform and rotate and make it like a corner booth here. And it might be nice to have one over here too. Let me see if I can fit it. So let me move this one. So it's kind of inside the building instead of floating outside. All right. And I'm going to keep that one there. And then I'm going to do, this is my corner booth. I'm going to right click and do a duplicate layer, bring it down here. And then I need to rotate it, obviously, because people can't sit in it in that direction. So I'm going to rotate this to be down here. And bring it in a little bit. That's pretty good. I'm noticing that this area right here is pretty close, so I might move my tables over a little bit, but I have space for something else in the middle here. So let me see what else I could put back there. Maybe if we had a few booths here. So I'm going to choose one of these to bring in. Edit, copy, come back to my project, edit, and paste. I'm going to select the white, hit delete, go up to deselect, edit, and free transform and resize it. And yeah, that fits nicely right there. So I'm going to do, maybe I can fit two. Let me see. So this is my booth. And I'm going to do a duplicate layer. And then let's see if I can get on my move tool and drag it down. Yep, there's room. All right, so I think I'm going to move my tables over just a little bit. So I'm going to actually select all of my tables. So if I click on my first table and go all the way to my last one and hold down Shift, I can select all of them, and let's see if I can just move them all at once. Yeah, perfect. Because I just want a little bit more room. It's too close over there. All right, so I need some things happening over on this side. So let's see what else is available. So let me go to File and Open. And let me open my floor plan elements 2. See what's in there. I could put a grand piano in. That could be fun, and some plants or a fireplace. All right, and let's do open the last one. And that would be my kitchen elements. Okay, so I'm gonna bring in this piano because that's fun. And I'm gonna use my rectangular select. Come over here, select my piano, make sure not to get the words. Edit, copy, go back to my project up here, then do edit and paste. I'm gonna get rid of the white, so I'm gonna select all of that, hit delete. I'm going to go up to select and deselect and then edit and free transform, and I'm going to resize it a little bit, make it a little bit larger. And I'm going to bring my piano over here. I'm going to rotate it a little bit, put it in the corner. Maybe I'll put some plants around it. So we'll have some music. And what I think that I really need over here is something for the hostess, right? For somebody to seat people in my restaurant. So let's see what else we have. So we've got a pool table, we've got rugs. A fireplace could be really cool. Let me see where I have room for a fireplace. Maybe right here, or maybe over here. If I move my window. Let me see which window that is. Because I got a lot of windows. There it is. So I'll move my window over to there and let me bring in a fireplace because that'd be fun. All right, so I'm gonna come over here and put a rectangle select around my fireplace, go up to edit, copy, go to my project, edit, and paste. It's kind of small, hard to see. I'm going to first select that white and delete it, go up to select and deselect, then edit and free transform again, hold down shift and resize it. And I'm going to bring my fireplace over here and I am going to rotate it. Just rotate. And I think this is the direction I want it to go. Right there. So I've got a fireplace next to a piano. This place is upscale. It's fancy. All right, so I need a place for my hostess. So let me see if I have anything. Oh, here's one right here. So I have a hostess podium. So I'm going to come in here and select this. And it's like you're looking down at it, right? It's like a little stand, but you're only seeing the top of that table. So I'm going to go and edit, copy, come back to my project, edit and paste. Go to my magic wand, select the white, hit delete, go up to select and deselect, and then edit and free transform and resize it. Make it a little bit bigger, and I'm going to bring it over here in this general vicinity. I think I might even like rotate it a little bit. Something kind of like that. So like right when you walk in, you'll see the hostess here. And then I could have like seats available for people who have to wait to be seated at a table. All right. So I think the only thing really I'm missing are some elements inside my kitchen and maybe some plants. So let me see what else we have. Oh, here's some plants right here. So let me include some plants. So I'm going to select that plant, edit, copy, come back to my project, edit, and paste. I'm going to select the white, delete it, go up to select and deselect, edit, free transform. You see I'm doing the same like 5 steps every time. Make it a little bit bigger. I think it might be nice to have a plant here because there's a little bit of open space. And I think that's really all I really have space for. Maybe one back here. Let me see. Where's my layer with my plant on it? All the way down here. Okay, I better label that so I don't lose it. Plant. Yep. All right, so let me make a duplicate layer. This is my plant copy. Go to my move tool and bring it back over here next to the piano. I think it's a little bit too big, so I will resize it. This plant will be a smaller plant. All right, so then the last thing I need to do is really bring over some of these things from my kitchen. So I'm gonna choose this one, edit, copy, come over to my project, edit and paste, choose the white, hit delete, select, deselect, edit, free transform, resize it a little bit, bring it over into my kitchen. And I could probably use something like a table or some other elements. I bring in this chest freezer. Edit, copy, come back to my project, edit and paste. And let me just move this over. And I'm gonna edit and rotate it. It's just kind of like what I have room for too. Like this one, my kitchen's kind of small in comparison. I might have needed a bigger kitchen. I'll bring in my table, maybe another appliance here, and then I'm good to go. Now, if you wanted to, like sometimes they'll have like people will put their restaurant name above it, but I think as long as we have the general layout of what you're looking for, I think that works. So let's go back to our requirements and see what we have. So if we look at our requirements, we have to have doors and windows, check. We have a kitchen area, check. Dining area, good. A payment station, yep, that could be the hostess station too. An entrance and waiting area, yep, we should probably put some chairs in there. But restroom, and I don't really have an outdoor space in this, but if I wanted to have an outdoor space, I could have like, I could make my rectangle smaller and then have a space over here off to the side if I wanted to add it in, okay? If you wanted to do something like that, you could select all of this and resize it. So the way that I chose all of those tables and moved them all at the same time, if you go and select all of your shapes, you could go up and transform it, right, and resize it, right? So you'd have to obviously unlock your background, but you could resize everything and make it a little bit smaller and then have room for an outdoor space if you wanted to, okay? So to select all the layers, I'm just holding down Shift and then going all the way to the bottom. So let me unlock this layer down here. I'm just going to double click to unlock it. Yeah, make sure it's okay. Unlocked. Okay. Let's go up to the top. Select all of our layers and resize everything to be just slightly smaller. I'm gonna hold down Shift. And then I could make all of this space back here my outside space if I wanted to. So if I wanted to add something extra. So right now in my background layer, I have like these checkerboards showing up because there's no color there. But let's say that this is going to be my outside space. So I'm going to see if I can just select, or maybe if I just fill it in with the color. Let's go with choosing a color. And we'll choose like a gray because it would be like an outdoor kind of patio. See what happens when we fill in this area. There we go. So all of this could be my outdoor space, and I could bring in a whole bunch of plants. Where's my plant layer? And I can do duplicate layer of my plant, go to my move tool, right? And I could do the outside space as well. So maybe I want to bring out some tables for out there. So maybe the round tables, right? Or this bistro set, that might be perfect for out there. Edit, copy, come back to my project, edit, paste. And it's tricky because it is all the way down here. So let me move that up to the top. And I'm going to select the white, hit delete, go up to select and deselect. And then I'm going to keep it the same size and I'm just going to move it outside. So I could have outdoor dining right there. Right? And I could have plants wherever I wanted. So if I come to my plant, copy, yep, duplicate layer, right? So I'm sure you get the gist. Once you've laid everything out the way you like it, you're going to come back up to the top, file, save as a PSD. This is for your copy, and that's because there's so many layers on this one. There's going to be a ton. You want to make sure that you have it saved with all of your layers so you can edit it if you need to, okay? The second step in when you're all done is to export as a JPG file. Okay, so JPG. Once you do that, you'll save it. So hit the save button. It'll download it for you, and then that's what you'll be turning in on Google Classroom for a grade. All right. So if you have questions as you're going through this, it's a little bit different format because we'll be opening other images for reference on this one. So you want to make sure that you can open these other ones correctly. That way you can bring it over with copy and paste to your final. All right. So we'll talk more in class. Let me know if you have any questions as you're working.